Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick get ready with me video. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but this is just kind of the look that I feel like wearing today. So I'm going to walk you through all the products that I'm using and how I apply them. So if you want to get ready with me, then just stay tuned. So first for eyeshadow, I'm going to prime with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and my damp beauty blender. And I'm just taking this all over the eyelids and then I'll set it with my eyeshadow. For eyeshadow, I'm going to use something totally different today, and that is the Amrezy palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I don't even think they make this anymore, but I believe the colors that I'm going to be using are just permanent, like colors that you can buy individually from Anastasia. So I'm going to go in with vanilla to set all over the lid, and then I'm just going to use caramel with the same big fluffy brush just to define the crease. So I like hardly ever use these palettes, and I've had them forever. And I was kind of going through my makeup collection and I was like, why don't I ever reach for this? Like, there must be a reason. And these palettes seem to get a lot of like fallout. If you can see, I've just barely tapped into vanilla and there's like powder all over the place. But they look pretty good on, and I know I've used this caramel shade before in the crease and really liked kind of the warm tone that it gives. So I'm hoping that I'll still like it. And then I also know the Legend shade in this palette, which we'll use later, is a really beautiful highlight shade. It's that like kind of yellowy, really brightening kind of highlight. Okay, this is a lot darker than I thought it was going to be, but we're just going to work with it. So these are really pigmented, especially this caramel shade. So a little bit goes a long way. Barely dabbed my brush in there twice. And it's still super pigmented, but I'm just going to keep blending back and forth until these kind of diffuse out the way that I like them. The eyeshadow is blended out fairly well, and I really like this warm toned brown because it really brings out blue eyes very nicely, but it was a little bit more intense than what I was hoping to go for today. But then for eyeliner, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm still going to use my Maybelline Unstoppable eyeliner in Onyx just because this is my favorite like stick eyeliner that doesn't budge at all throughout the day, but I'm just going to do a straight line today, and then later I'm going to go back in with this also underneath the lower lash line just to give a little bit of a different effect. So I'm not going to do my regular wing. So for eyeliner, when you draw the line on, there tends to be like a little gap right at the corner, and usually if you leave that empty, that kind of helps lift your eye up, and then if you fill in too far down on the lash line, it can kind of make your lid look droopier. But I'm going to go for an all around the eye eyeliner look today, which is usually not flattering and not something I go for, but today it's what I'm going for, so I'm just going to continue the eyeliner down all the way to the end of my lash line. So that's all good for the eyeliner, and we'll smudge that out later and add mascara, but then I'm going to move on to my base instead. First of all, for the base, I'm going to prime with my YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer. This is the really nice one that has like little gold flecks in it. So I'm going to take this and just concentrate it on the T-zone where I get oily and have the most visible pores. And with these kind of slippy feeling silicone primers, it's best to kind of minimally rub them in, not kind of keep rubbing them in because they'll tend to pill up and kind of have a worse reaction. So just kind of a little once over there to get it on the skin, but don't rub it in too intensely. For foundation today, I'm going to be using my Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation, and I'm going to take this on my damp beauty blender. And I'm just doing one pump to start out with, just for the T-zone. And I chose this because I like the long wear, and I'm kind of going to have a long day today. And it also has hydrating in the title. I don't notice it being hydrating, but my skin needs a little bit of extra hydration at the moment because it's getting so cold here. But I really do like the formula of this foundation. I find that it sits on the skin really well, and I hope that it will agree with this primer well as well. I'm also so glad that these huge breakouts that I was getting on the side of my face are finally clearing. I was using a new skincare product that I had such high hopes for. I thought was really going to help my skin, but it really just broke me out. And finally I realized that it was that product doing it, and I stopped using it a few days ago, and almost immediately the blemishes kind of went down and started to go away, so I knew that that was the culprit. And now my skin is finally getting into the process of healing, and the blemishes are all actually like nice and flat now, but they're just still kind of dark and lingering under the surface, so hopefully they'll be completely gone in a few more days. So I put on several layers of this foundation, and I really forget how much I love this foundation. Every time I use it, I don't know why I'm not using it every day because I really like the finish. And the color is also pretty good. It's a tad too dark for me, but nothing too bad, and just it feels really nice on the skin. So I don't know why I'm not using this more. I really like it. For concealer, I'm going to use my favorite combination at the minute, which is the Becca, what is this? Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. And I have mine in the shade Porcelain. So I use this in conjunction with the YSL Touche Eclat concealer in number 1. Because this Becca concealer really gives like a nice brightening, like color under the eyes, and it's a really like lightweight finish concealer and it feels really nice. And then the Touche Eclat is like very pinky shaded, which helps cover my dark circles really well, which I need especially today. So I just do 2 clicks of the YSL along with the Becca. So once all that concealer is piled on there, I just use the damp beauty blender to blend all of this in and brighten under the eye. Concealer's on, and I'm just going to quickly set it with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to pack this on under the eyes with the same corner of my damp beauty blender as always, just to set this lightly. Before going in with any more powder, I'm going to use my Chanel Cream Bronzer, the Soleil Tan de Chanel, and I'm going to take this on my Sigma Angled Kabuki F84 brush, and I'll probably blend it out a little bit with my beauty blender as well. I like the brush and the beauty blender for this, actually. Both ways apply it kind of nicely, but this kind of packs it on right where I want it, and then the beauty blender can kind of diffuse it out. But I'm doing this just for a little additional like contouring today. Nothing too intense, but I just want to pack on a little extra color underneath my powder. I'm just feeling it today, I don't know why. And I haven't used this Chanel bronzer in a while, and it's so beautiful. And don't be scared of this if you have super fair skin like I do. I looked at it and it's super orange and it kind of applies super orange, but if you blend it in, it really gives a really natural finish, even on super light skin. Just don't get too heavy-handed and it will be okay. It just like is really kind of scary initially off the bat, but it really, really blends out and gives you a nice natural look if you do it right. So I'm going back over it with my beauty blender to kind of diffuse out any edges and make sure it's not packed on too heavily. And you can even, I a lot of times just take my beauty blender and go straight into this to apply it on. That applies it on even lighter. If you're scared about getting too heavy-handed, definitely don't apply it straight on with a dense kabuki brush like I just did if you're worried about it being too dark. But I'm not too worried, and I'm going to go back over this with my powder, so not too much is going to show through anyway. That's it for the Chanel bronzer, so now I'm going to set my whole face with my favorite Osmosis Color Mineral Pressed Base in Fair and my huge La Mer powder brush. This has been my favorite powder at the moment, just because it doesn't cake up, but it does add a little bit more coverage. And it's like a nice mineral line, so it doesn't like congest your skin or irritate your skin. I think my all-time favorite powder is still the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder, but that one, in conjunction with, you know, these kind of heavier foundations that I use, really just irritates my skin, whereas this one feels nice and light and doesn't cause any irritation. Now that the whole face is set, I'm going to go in with bronzer, and I'm going to use my Glow Skin Beauty bronzer in Sunlight and my big Osmosis full face brush. And I'm just going to go directly back over anywhere where I had that Chanel bronzer, which you can still see peeking through, but this is just going to kind of set it and add a little additional color. And doing the cream bronzer underneath and then the powder bronzer on top is also going to ensure that your bronzer lasts throughout the day and doesn't, you know, start to fade halfway through. And this is really good because, like I said, I have a long day today. I'm going to work all day and then I'm going to a party later tonight, and I don't want to have to redo my makeup, so I really want it to kind of last throughout the whole day. And then just to add a little more definition, I'm going to take my NARS Ita brush in that same bronzer and take some down the sides of my nose just to contour a little bit. For highlighter, I'm going to go in with my Carli Bybel BH palette, and I'm going to use these 2 light shades here mixed together, and then probably just only the light shade on my nose and my Cupid's bow. And I'm going to take this on the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight brush, and I really love this highlight. When I wear this, I always get complimented on my highlight. It's super intense, but not too, like, crazy looking. And this, like the foundation, I'm like, why aren't I wearing this every day? It looks amazing once it's on. But I just don't reach for it. I don't know why. I need to start going through my collection more and breaking out these kinds of products. So like I said, I mixed the 2 together for the cheekbones, and I'm just going to take only the lighter shade for the tip of the nose and the Cupid's bow. And then for blush, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blusher in First Love. And I just used this in a video not too long ago. And again, this is another product that I never reach for. And when I first put it on, I never really liked the look of it. For some reason, it comes out really orange, even though it looks really like a nice tanny pink color. But for some reason, when I first put it on, it always looks just orangey. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like how it, you know, mixes with my bronzer or my skin tone or something. But I was wearing it the other day, and in the morning, I didn't like how it looked. And then partway through the day, I looked in the mirror, and it just looked so beautiful and gave me the most amazing glow. So I decided I have to start wearing it more and just working with it. And see, it looks really orange. I don't know why. Like, it looks just browny orange, which just is not good for fair skin. But later on in the day, it's going to look nice. So we'll keep going with it. Okay, to start to finish off the eyes, I'm going to go back in with my eyeliner, that Maybelline Unstoppable, and I'm just going to line like halfway through my lower lash line with this. And then immediately after applying the liner, I'm going to take this pencil brush and kind of smudge it so that it's not too like a stark dark line. And you can even take that color that you have in the crease and kind of smudge that under here as well to kind of blend it out. But I'm just going to stick with just the black today. And to kind of tell how to get them even, you kind of stop at the same point on your eye. So I kind of stopped right underneath my pupil on each side so that I knew that they were kind of even. And then I'm just kind of smudging out the top lash line as well to kind of make it blend a little better. So it's not just a stark line around the eye, because that tends to look a little bit unflattering. So that's it for the liner, and then I'm going to go in with my eyelash curler because I forgot to curl my lashes earlier and just kind of give them a quick crimp. And now for mascara, I'm trying to use up my Estee Edit the Edgiest mascara, which is the dual-ended one. So I go in with the volume side first and then the lift side. And I really like this because it doesn't seem to transfer on me at all, but it is really hard to take off, I find. And it's always kind of lingering in my eyes the next day, no matter how thoroughly I try to wash it off. Okay, eye makeup is done, and now I'm going to move on to brows, and I'm going to use my Clinique Superfine Liner for brows in the shade 02 Soft Brown, of course, just to fill them in. And then to set the brows, I'm just going to use my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel because I don't want them to look too dark today. Usually I set them with a tinted brow gel, but I've just been feeling the clear the last couple days. And I almost forgot my favorite part, the inner corner highlight. So I'm going to go back in with this Anastasia shade Legend, which again, I think you can buy individually. If not, just any highlight shade you can do, or you can even use the Carli Bybel highlight palette that I used. This Legend shade's actually really nice. Just going to take that in the inner corner and then just a little touch under each brow bone as well. I haven't been highlighting the brow bone like I used to. It actually looks really nice. Okay. Final step is going to be lips, and I'm going to use my NYX. This is the retractable lip liner in the shade Nude. I really like their non-retractable liners too, but this one is a nice shade for today. So I line my lips and then I'm going to fill them in as well. For a gloss to wear on top, I'm deciding between my two kind of go-tos at the moment, which is the Sarah Happ Nude Slip Lip Gloss and the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. And I think I'm going to go for the Fenty for the moment. And then I'll probably switch over to the Sarah Happ later on in the day. And that's it for this Get Ready With Me video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this makeup routine and a little bit of a different eyeliner look from me, as well as some products that I hadn't broken out in a while. So if you enjoyed this video, all the products that I used will be listed in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss my next upload. And thank you so much for watching.